Hello, all you beautiful, wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. Today I am doing a very interesting tea and doing the live thing on YouTube and the live thing on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook. So all of those things all together. So if you want to listen to it again, you can jump on there. It's the light up above me is like super buzzy. So I turned it off. So we're just going with natural light today. And as you can see, the typhoon that was going to hit Taiwan has been spinning off some really nice things. I forgot my scale. And if I'm really going to evaluate this tea, I got to get my scale. But we've had a bunch of rain the last couple days. It's been pretty crazy, actually, here in Hualien. Just to give you an idea. Here in Hualien, just to give you an idea. So we get, like in the last 48 hours, we probably got 300 millimeters of rain. So like a foot. So a foot of rain in the past 48 hours. About 36 hours, we've had about a foot of rain. And nothing stopped. Nothing, we didn't even lose power. Nothing's happened other than my children got more screen time than they usually would because we couldn't go in the evening and exercise. And we went to, where did we go? During the day, we went to Tom's World, which is an arcade. And then we went to the shopping mall to buy a bunch of different types of honey because there's honey in Taiwan. Anyways, there's a Carrefour, which is a French chain. I don't think it's still owned by the original company, but it's a French chain in Hualien, and they have the various honeys from all over France. So we ran out of honey, and so that's the exciting day. Yesterday I went to Carrefour and I bought a bunch of different honeys and also a butter caramel sauce, which my family was. So it was like an authentic Carrefour French butter sauce, butter caramel sauce. And I stuck it in my. I got a little bit of I got the chopsticks, a little bit of chopsticks, and then I dipped it in, and then I stuck it in my children's mouths, and it was like the first time a baby tries cake or something. They were just like, "Wow, what is that?" It was so good. But anyways, that's what I did for that. So people who were asking about the typhoon, we are totally fine. Nothing special happened. And it's one of the perks of living in Taiwan. Now, what are we looking at today? Now, this is interesting. I'm wondering if this is going to be the next sort of fad that walks through Taiwan when it comes to teas. This is from Mingjin, and this is from the same area this is from the same fellow that does a lot of the sort of interesting teas that I have on the site. So say, for example, the three shades of Wuyi, three shades of Bashan, right? And the chocolate roast Wuyi. And what he does is every once in a while he'll send me really beautiful samples of things that he's sort of come up with. It's like, I'm going to try this out. He comes up with stuff and he sends me these samples, and that's what this is right now. And so this is this is a Wuyi cultivar, Wuyi oolong, and he's called it a twisted curl shape. But basically, this is a tea that's kind of done. It looks like tea that was done 40, 50 years ago. So this looks almost exactly the same, as the 1970s oolong in the sense of the shape of the leaves. So here, I'm going to show them to you here. Let's see if we can. Oh, it's this natural light doesn't work all that well. Anyways, I'm definitely. I think perhaps at the end of this summer, I'm thinking we got to do something, change it up a bit. But I do need a better sort of studio for doing these types of things. But take a look. This you can sort of see here if you look at it, right? So that's a very delicately rolled, beautiful tea. It's a very delicately rolled, very beautiful tea. And, it's always nice when he sort of sends me this stuff. I'm curious about it. Now, what I did, I tried it yesterday, and I didn't know what the heck to think of this thing. I did not know what to think, because I'm pretty sure he's put it out. Maybe he's put it out in the sun. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this tea. It's an interesting tea. It's got a lot of really interesting flavors going on. But I tried it like this, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't get what was going on with this tea. Now, on the nose right here, there is an amazingly sweet floral. Like, it's just amazingly sweet. It's like, it's probably been bitten by bugs, actually, considering where it is. Fully organic farm, all of that stuff. But it's got an edge to it. It's got the Wuyi edge. And the Wuyi edge, what the Wuyi edge does is it brings in something that is very not Taiwanese to sort of Taiwanese style of processing. So that particular cultivar brings in some things that are not exactly the same. The first steep here, nothing really going on, but that was just the first steep. That was only like 15 seconds. The color changed enough, but it's not really doing anything too much for me right there. Now, I'm evaluating the tea. What am I doing when I'm evaluating the tea? I am trying to see whether I want to gamble on this tea. I want to see whether the tea is accessible. I want to see whether the tea is unique. I want to see whether the tea has all of the different parts of the tea that would make it a valuable gamble. And so with this particular tea, I've got lots of Wuyi. I've got lots of teas that sort of look like this. What I'm looking for is something that is going to be really, it's going to be a wow. Because let's face it, right now we're sort of in the lull phase. We're in the area of the year where all the good sort of teas are kind of done. Now, this Sunday, actually, I'm doing a big release of Jade Mountain teas. So I finally got the Jade Mountain teas in. So there's going to be the Snow Pick Jade Mountain, the Spring Jade Mountain, and 2 different red oolongs. There's going to be the typical red jade, jade red jade. Oh no, Jade Mountain Red. Forgive me, I'm mixing up all the names. And then this one, which I just called Dark Flowers Oolong, which is another one from the same garden. There's 4 teas from the same garden. They're going to be released on, they'll all be released this Sunday, usual time. And I might do 15%, 12%. It was 10%. Anyways, there's going to be a discount on them. If you're on the newsletter list, jump in the newsletter list. You'll be able to try these teas out. And I may add this in as well. I may add, depending on what happens right now, with this tea. Because I tried it yesterday, and again, I tried it like this, and it really was, I didn't know what the heck to think of the thing. I did not know. But this way, I'm doing the deep dive, doing it this way, and we're going to figure it out. We're going to see what happens, but I think I'm probably going to pass. And we'll talk about why in a second. Because this tea is a gorgeous tea. It's a beautiful tea. I burnt my tongue a little bit just now because I drank it too fast when it was hot. But it's really nice. But I think I see what's happening with my friend. What's going on right now, and you can see this generally speaking happen in the Taiwanese tea industry across the board for the teas, the people that I'm in touch with, like the edge cases, the people who are true tea masters, right? What's going on right now is they're bringing in some poor processing techniques and they're mixing them up with the Taiwanese oolong processing techniques. When I say poor processing techniques, I'm talking about you take in some tea, you fry it up, you put it in the sun, and you're done, right? So like that's, the basic poor processing techniques are very, very similar to that. And when you're looking at a tea that's a Taiwanese tea, you're looking at something that is very, very different. You're looking at, you pick the tea, you wither the tea, you do this to the tea a bunch of times, depending on who you are and how you want to do it. You put it on racks, you take it inside, you put it outside, you put it into special rooms where they ferment it, you take it out, you you roll it. You don't roll it. You put it through the slow roller. You put it through a fast roller. There's so many different ways of creating Taiwanese tea. And the really spectacular tea people, like the real tea masters, have sort of run out of things to do. and I see them now. Pushing the envelope. Now, these are the younger generation. The older guys really didn't push the envelope because it was more mass produced. And let's face it, like if you're out there, you really should at least just watch a couple of YouTube videos about, I can't remember the guy's name. That's just embarrassing. But anyways, the fourth turning, right? So there's a series of books, Generations, and then the fourth turning. Then the guy, I can't remember. Anyways, whatever, it doesn't matter. He just released his sort of the fourth turning is here book, and it's a new book out. I haven't read that book, but they talk about the different generations and how the different generations, and very American centric, but it's comparable. It's comparable in Taiwan, anyways. And they talk about what happens with the different generations and their different sort of flavors. When you're looking at the older generation, the baby boomer generation, actually, I don't know what they would be called in Taiwan. When you're looking at those older generations, they're looking for consistency, factory production, same flavors, community based off of similar expectations and similar flavors. So if you can imagine, like I grew up, my parents are boomers. So, when they bought a new car, everybody bought the same new car, right? It was exactly the same new car. And it goes back to when they were growing up in these cookie cutter suburban type areas where everybody had the same. So then my generation comes along, and I'm in that particular book, I'm supposed to be one of the heroes, and I'm hoping that happens eventually. But that's why I like the book so much. But I'm a millennial Xer, sort of in between those two. So I grew up with 1 foot in analog and 1 foot in digital, and then so that generation and opposed to me, you had this break from sort of that boomerness. And this explosion of all of these various different ways of expressing yourselves and things like that. And so my generation, that generation, is sort of this reaction to that generation. And so there really is this, if they're still there, if they're still doing it, there really is this drive to create their own stamp, right? Their own sort of way of doing things. Now, and that's not to say I don't want to get too far into fourth turning. The sort of the millennial generation is oftentimes, they're oftentimes very civic minded and rely on groups and things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about their own sort of feelings of expression and things like that. And whereas like the boomer and in Taiwan, exactly the same. Their expressions oftentimes took the same form. They all did the exact same thing. There was that reaction now, especially in Taiwan, where there is a plethora of different things going on. Now that I've thoroughly discredited myself as a social theorist, but my point is that if they're young and they're successful and they're trying to do stuff with tea in Taiwan right now, that generation are trying to bring in as many different things and trying to create as many different strange things as they possibly can. And that's something that is very, very, very true. Which brings us back to this tea. Now, what this tea is the same sort of processing style techniques as the 3 shades of Ba Xian. Now, Ba Xian is a really yellow tea, like it's a tea that doesn't have a lot of chlorophyll in it. And so when that happens, there's a creaminess, there's a bunch of different flavors that come out that's really, really, really unique. Because Ba Xian, well, unique for me, because Ba Xian is not really grown in Taiwan. And so the 3 shades of Ba Xian is a really unique tea because it has all those things going through it. Now, this tea is the Wuyi cultivar. And like I was saying before, it's done in that way that's bringing in some other aspects that it's not traditionally processed. So when I'm drinking this tea, my guess is it really didn't go through a lot of sort of heavy rolling. It was very light rolling. and it probably sat for quite some time. So the oxidation level of this, I would say, would be about the same as the Dark Flowers oolong that's going to be on the site on Sunday, which is this weird place. Like, I have literally had probably less than 20 different teas that are in this sort of oxidation range. This say 60 to 75 oxidation range. It's really not done. It's really not done. And if it is, it's usually roasted. You just roasted all the crap. But this is in that range, and it's really nice. Like, it's sweet, it's flowing, and if I didn't have access to all of this Tea Masters tea, I'd probably be like, wow, this is so much fun. I want to buy it. It's a tea that when you drink it makes you happy. There's lots of nice flavors going around and things like that. But the same thing happens with the 3 Shades of Bashen. And I like that tea a little bit better because it's a little bit more special. A lot of people are using the Wuyi cultivar right now to make teas. No bitterness, no astringency at all, which for a Mingjian, remember Mingjian is a very low area. So no bitterness and no astringency for a tea that was made sort of in the last month, and that this guy knows what he's doing. He's an amazing tea producer. It's got a bunch of really fun flavors, not particularly strong, but like I said, his other teas have them a little bit stronger. And I feel bad because it's a really nice tea. It's just this style of tea from this producer I already have. I've already got it. And if I'm going to gamble on a tea, I don't think I particularly need more of it. So let's jump in here. This has been going for 15 minutes or so. So it's going to have the real essence of the tea in this right here. And it's sweet and pleasant. There's the mouthfeel is kind of sort of a hybrid. It's got a thickness to it, like there's a butteriness to it, but it's not that thick. It's not so thick. It's not like a milky, buttery, but it's still pretty thick. Beautiful mouthfeel, crystal clean and clear. Even after brewing it for 15 minutes, there's no hint of bitterness or astringency at all. But this very similar style of tea, I just think the 3 Shades of Bashen does it better. It's the same guy, and he's just sort of doing it the same way. So I feel bad, I'm like, I want to support you, but I've already, I think just as a gamble, as the gambles go in these types of things, I don't know whether this gamble would be quite right for me at the moment. But there is absolutely none, no negative. There's not a single negative thing about this tea. Well, maybe it doesn't quite have the lasting power that you might want from some of these teas, but it's from Mingjian. It's got a lasting power that's not as much as High Mountains. There's nothing much you can do about that. Right? The higher elevation teas just grow slower. They're more stressed out. They got more stuff in them, And so, yeah, there's nothing. Basically, there's nothing negative I can say about this tea, except that I've got one that's similar that does it a little touch better, so I'm going to stick with that. But what are you going to do? I don't know if anybody wants this tea in larger quantities. Get in touch. I can send you a sample, and you can try it out and see if you want it, because it's a beautiful tea. But I repeat myself. Really is nice. Okay, any questions about that? So anybody out there got any? Oh no, you okay? You okay, buddy? Sorry. Any questions about that? I'm also drinking a couple teas over here, so we're going to jump into those for a second and sort of give you an update about what's going on with that, and then I'll go and hopefully, I'm waiting for a big shipment of tea. Hopefully that's here, so I can play around with that. Now, what are we looking at here? Now, I can't remember if I did a live stream with these. I don't think I did. But what am I looking at right here? I'm looking at the house roast Mare's Alishan Oolong. Maybe I did a live stream with it. I don't remember. Anyways, I think I did. But what I do is I roasted one of these guys very, very heavily the other day. Oh, and they cool down. This year was so good. This year for up there was so good. I'm having such a hard time. I don't know which one is better. I don't know which one is better. I might sell both of them. I might just sell both of them. Because the roasted tea is doing what I wanted it to do. It caramelized some things, and it's got some really gorgeous florals and different things that are coming out with it. Fruit flavors, it's just awesome. And then this one that is not quite as roasted. Anyway, the story is both of them have been roasted for 6 hours at 75 and 6 hours at 85. And then this one did 2 hours at 110. This one did 2 hours at 110 and then 2 hours at 130. And so I really wanted to punch in some of that caramelization, and it really worked. And as the day, I drink it every day. I come to the shop. I didn't drink it yesterday because I wasn't here. I took a day off for the typhoon. But each day that I do it, it gets a little better. But this one is also really good. Anyways, I'm gonna be. I'm probably just gonna keep them. Yeah, that's my style, right? So I think what I'll probably do is I'll call this like I'll call this like light roast and this like medium roast. And I don't think I'm going to keep going. No, I don't think I'm going to keep going. These are beautiful teas. I don't think I'm going to keep going. I'll call this light roast and I'll call this medium roast. And I will sell them together. And that's what I think I'm going to do. I've decided. So hard to choose which one's better. Because this one keeps its butteriness, while as this one loses a little bit of the butteriness. This one has more sweetness and a longer aftertaste. But this one doesn't, but that's because it's just freshly roasted. Anyways, I'll probably save these for a tea release in August. Save this for a tea release in August. Still got a little bit too much of the roast on it for me. This one's coming into its own, and it's 2 weeks after the roast. This has been like, 3 days after the roast? I'll probably keep them both. Anyways, that's it for now. Tea release on Sunday. So there's going to be 4 teas released. All the Jade Mountain teas. So you've got the Jade Mountain Red, Dark Flowers Oolong, Dark Flower Oolong, Jade Mountain Spring, and Jade Mountain Snow. And so all of those teas will be ready for release. And they're all really affordable. They're all really affordable, and I'm happy to have them. And actually, I might also do I got 6 mountains, so I might actually do 6 mountains. Jade, Chilai Shan, Pear Mountain, Alishan, Shanlin Shi, Jade, Alishan, Shanlin Shi. I gotta write these down. Bear Mountain. All right, let's start at the top and go down. Okay, so we got Pear Mountain. Then we got Chilai Shan. Then we got Shanlin Shi Alishan. Then we've got Jade Mountain. And what's the 6th? Oh, Nanhu. 6 is Nanhu. So the 6 mountain set, the 6 mountain set. There we go. I think I'm going to release that this weekend as well. So that'll be 6 mountains. and I'll do 10 grams, 25 grams, and 100 grams. And I'll do a blind taste set, and I'll make like, I don't know, 20 of them, something like that, and see if there's anybody who wants to do it. I'll probably do 10 and 25s, and you guys can try it out. Great teas. Anyways, that's it for now. I gotta go. Thank you to everybody who has bought tea, wherever in the world you happen to be. I hope you have an absolutely amazing morning, afternoon, night, all of that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.